So Venus moves into Gemini on July 4th. What can we expect? Because we just started off in Venus direct after a retrograde about a couple months ago. So we're in a new chapter of worth. We're just starting out with earning more for ourselves, reflecting more back to ourselves and in our life, in our jobs, in our careers, in our relationships, in our partners. So with Venus entering Gemini, we're going to start to learn to talk about that worth. Gemini is the twins. And one of the things that it represents in astrology is how we learn to talk about stuff. Think about a kid when you're talking to a kid and they're learning how to say words. It's kind of like a parrot. Sometimes, like they repeat what they hear. It just is what it is. Gotta love the babies. You don't have to. But you know what? I sure do. Kids are great. Anyways, moving on. So we're going to be learning to talk about what we feel like we're worth now. What is it that we really want in this new chapter of worth? I'm really hoping that this is kind of an optimistic turn, to be honest with you. This could also look like more in society or groups or community, work, places as well. It could be receiving more information or sitting in the lens where we have more words and more information kind of coming to us. With Jupiter out of Gemini, we're not going to have to worry about maybe like an overload of information. So that is going to be a plus, thankfully. One of the things that I will say is that Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury retrogrades pretty often. And we are going to have a Mercury retrograde while Venus is in Gemini. I know, guys. Okay, so July 18th is when Mercury retrogrades in Leo, ruled by the Sun, and our Sun will both be in Cancer and Leo for that retrograde. So we'll have some pretty direct, impactful energy of the retrograde. I'm thinking and hoping that this is going to shed some light on maybe some information that we didn't have when we were going through the Venus retrograde. Think about what was happening over eclipse season, like March time. Anything that was going on and you were like, man, this kind of sucks. This really sucks, actually. I'm worth more than this. Anything like that was happening over that time period this year, there might be a little bit more information that comes to the surface. Oh, I was putting up with that because I felt like this about myself. Oh, I was doing that because I felt like this about that in that relationship. There's a lot of different lens or perspectives that could come up, but it's going to be focused on worth. Revisiting the worth, revisiting and kind of seeing for ourselves for the first time, I didn't realize I was doing it like that, but I see I did it like that because this is how I really felt about it. This is how I really felt about myself. Now I can talk about it. You know what? We're going to feel through it when Venus enters Cancer in a little bit. But while Venus is in Gemini, it'll be a lot about, let me just talk about it. Like talk therapy kind of stuff. You could make vlogs for yourself, talk to your friends, talk to whoever you need to. But it's time to get it off your chest. Let it rest. Didn't mean to make it that story. Didn't mean to make it that way. But you know what I'm worth now? That's going to be the other side of the conversation. We're going to talk about the back, okay? And then what are we worth now? So you could also expect some upgrades once Venus enters Gemini. Gonna be kind of interesting too. We're gonna put a little back end note on this video. Venus is conjunct with Uranus. I've already done another video on that on July 4th. So more information on my page if you want to go and look at it. But the reason I bring it up is because Uranus is also about to enter into Gemini. So Venus is going to be in Gemini with Uranus. Could be kind of a weird season. Could be kind of weird. They're going to be together from July 7th until July 31st. So basically the entire month. Unpredictable information coming through to you. I'm hearing about this other situation from a long time ago and I didn't even mean to pick up that information. Where is this coming from? Oh, and I've been thinking about this and this other person is talking about this and I feel like I'm worth that and I'm hearing these people talk about their money and their worth and I actually align with that. Crazy that I'm overhearing that conversation right now. Could be a bunch of weird stuff like that. Definitely also while Venus and Uranus are in Gemini together, pay attention to the news cycles, watch the news cycles, and this is in part because the Pluto retrograde that we have in Aquarius right now is being ruled partially by that Uranus that's going to be in Gemini very soon with Venus. One of the things about Pluto and Aquarius is that the unpredictable things that come through to us, when we respond to them or react to them, Pluto looks at that and says, oh, you're going to respond like that because it's a pattern. That's the Saturn part of Aquarius. It's a pattern, so it's going to happen again. So now that we know how you're going to respond, we're going to set you up with a couple different situations. Kind of weird. That's how it's been working for me on a magical level. And since we're in the retrograde of Pluto, this could also be patterns coming to a close so that you don't have to deal with them anymore. Kind of like reacting for the final time like you used to and then being like, oh, I can move on. I don't have to do it like that anymore. I am a different person. Holy cow, when did that happen? So again, it could be both. It could be seeing both sides of things. In Pluto retrogrades, we do bind up new contracts while we're getting out of the old ones. When you free yourself from one binding, you don't just go into nothing. There has to be something else to be bound to. So, the contracts coming undone and getting into new ones makes sense at the same time. but that is going to be a part of this. We have a lot of opportunity to receive some pretty good new work for new contracts, new bindings for about the next year or two, to be honest with you, because Venus is direct for about a year and a half. So the next year or two, through July 7th to July 31st, while Venus and Uranus are both in Gemini. I like the sound of it, you guys. I don't know about you, but I know about me. That sounds pretty good. That sounds like a good kickoff to both of these transits. I'm all right with it. There's a bunch of other funky, junky, what the heck is going on stuff in the transits right now, but that one, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You could also find as well, while they're both in Gemini, both Uranus and Venus, if you're someone who works with the primordial beings, you sit with nature, you sit in the spirit of Mother Earth, okay, the primordial beings in your practice, however that might translate, it's going to be different depending on the group of spirits that you work with. Probably those spirits are going to be a lot more chatty the entire time that Uranus is in Gemini, but we're probably going to be receiving more stuff, more information, more. We're going to be receiving more while they're both, well, Venus and Uranus are in Gemini. So just, if that's a part of your practice, okay, and you've listened this far, just keep it ear out. You got it. You'll know your relationship with that spirit. You know it better than I do. So, but just listen, it's all right. The communication's gonna pick up as it is. So gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up your brew. Keep doing what you do. I will too. You know what? That's true. And I'll talk to you soon. Also true.